she was in her situation. And it's kind of like we felt the same thing. Like, she felt empty because she didn't have me around, and she had to spend time around all these people. Because, you know, there's lots of things that people have done in prison. I felt a bit happy seeing her at least, because, you know, I like at least seeing my mum. I mean, it's not fair if I don't get to see her at all. And I was a bit happy when I saw her, but then I felt upset when I had to leave and everything. Sometimes people know that I live with my nan, but then I just tell them that, oh yeah, my mum's trying to get a new home at the moment, and she's trying to take the house apart, the old one we've lived in, and I can't be there while she's taking all this stuff apart, because then I won't have a bath and it's been taken apart and everything. And that's what I often tell them, because, you know, because, you know, when you just got something that's private and you don't want really it to be taken out, because once you tell one person, it gets passed on sometimes. If someone that you can't trust and then they just blab it on, then basically you can't take that back. You can't say to every single person, forget this.
What's the point talking about it?
When my mum and dad were arrested, it was the worst day of my life. I was sitting in my bedroom doing my homework when the police banged on our door. My dad let the police in, and we all sat in the living room. My mum was crying. The police told me and my sister that they were arresting my mum and dad, and then they took them away. My sister is 13 years old, and that night, we had to spend the whole night in the house on our own. The next day, social services called, and they helped me feel a bit better. My mum came home. My dad didn't.
The police raided our house to arrest my dad, but no one was there. We came home to find the house all smashed up. It was horrible. It was a mess. And it was all in the papers and all in the news, and they even added our address in it, which was completely out of order. It was really hard for me, and I wasn't sleeping. It felt like a dream.
Mum got arrested because of the fights between the family. People were really upset with her. Dad didn't know at first, until someone told him. I was really upset and missed her all the time. I was ashamed and didn't want to tell anybody. We never got any information from anybody where she was or telling us what was happening.
What's the point talking about it?
Mum would often cry and not be able to manage, so I'd have to go to the shops and do the shopping, cooking and cleaning. Mum was depressed. Later she was given pills which seemed to work. She would cry less and be more relaxed. But it still wasn't right. I'd still hear her sobbing at night time. I'd have to close all the doors to muffle the sound so my brother and sister couldn't hear.
I refused to go to school at first. I couldn't stop crying. I didn't want to leave the house.
When he went to jail, it was like we weren't a proper family. It was all quiet. When he went, it felt like I didn't have a dad. It felt like I was all alone.
I used to struggle to sleep at night, so where Mum could. I imagined her in a cold cell, sharing with a scary room covered in tattoos, clanky metal doors, thin mattresses, cold and uncomfortable, just like you see on the TV.
My mum was stressed out and upset, and she kept on
I
crying.
missed my dad. I wanted him home with us. I cried every night in bed. I didn't want to talk to my mum about it because I was afraid of upsetting her even more.
We tried to keep it inside the family, but The police and the social workers were only there to hurt you or do something terrible.
We only visit once a month, so it's quite a long way and quite expensive for my mum. Because he went to Portsmouth, which is nice. We go to the beach and have chips, but then we go to the jail.
It gets on my nerves how much there is to go through just if you're visiting, and it makes you feel daft and stupid. All you want is space to yourself and no one can have any privacy. I don't get why they make you wait all that time.
When I first visited, I got to give him a hug. But then he had to stay on his chair the whole time, which was strange to me. I didn't know what to say at first, and didn't like being watched by prison officers. Felt like everybody was watching me and talking about us.
Dad said that I'm the one that kept him hanging on. I felt that I was keeping the family together, the leader of the family. I was the only one who was visiting him.
It's a bit strange there. I always think I'm going to get shouted at because all the prison officers look really strict.
Me and my sister, we would sit in our room. I think we were the only ones that had this problem. The more we talked about it, the angrier she got. So we stopped talking about it. And I would cry in my bed when she was asleep, or in the toilets in school when no one was around.
When I went back to school, I'd kick off and cause trouble. I didn't want to be there. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't tell anyone.
No one knew at school to start with. Made me work hard because my dad told me to do my best. I wanted my dad to be proud of me. I don't want anyone to know. It's none of their business. I thought they might judge me and my dad. They found out later though.
Teachers got on my nerves. They just have a go at me and they never really asked me what was wrong. And when they did, I wouldn't say anything because I couldn't tell them where my dad was. That's what my mum would tell me off.
School could have helped more though. They could have offered more study work and helped my brother and sister understand what was happening so I didn't need to. It's tough being at home, doing my schoolwork and talking to my brothers and sisters.
My dad started closing the curtains because men would be outside taking photos of us. We were in the papers once. For the first month, it was really dark. At first it felt like fun. Then it felt like I was trapped. We hardly ever went outside, and we need to be careful when we open the curtains. One time, when I opened the curtains, my dad shouted at me. I thought one's plants died if they didn't get any sunlight. He shouted, but then he hugged me. He couldn't stop crying and saying sorry. I didn't cry. I told him it'd be okay, and I was a big girl, and I can help out.
Sometimes when we visit, there's a dog, and sometimes there isn't. I have to check to see if you have anything. And once, kids in Portsmouth on the beach, they're pebbles, and I like pebbles and stones. They're all different colours, and they found them on me. I was worried, but all they said was, nice pebbles, but I wasn't in trouble because they're only pebbles.
I mean, obviously it's good and stuff that you can visit, but it's just really bad that I have to be there. And I'm not saying it's bad there, and it's just a waste of time, and I don't go anymore.
My little brother pretends to be a plane when they search him. He finds it again. We tell him it's like at the doctor's, where I have to go, see if he's hiding anything in his mouth. He's only 4. I think he usually finds it funny. Sometimes he doesn't laugh and cries if he doesn't want to open his mouth.
I'd like for my sister to have, seen a counsellor. Someone she could talk to, because she seems to keep all her feelings inside. And then, if you say the wrong thing, at the wrong time, she'll lash out and be completely angry for no reason at all.
still struggle with the thought of my mum in prison. I always thought it was people who were really bad that would go there. My dad told me that sometimes good people do bad things, and it's okay to still love her. That made me feel a bit better, but I never thought she'd go to prison.
Dad started to send us cards and ringing us, which was good. Visiting times were difficult, as they were often in school hours, and school got cross if I missed anything, so I didn't really get to visit during term time.
Eventually my mum told the school and teachers about where my dad was, which was good because I didn't have to say anything. The school got me somebody to talk to.
We were worried about her inside, that she wouldn't look after herself.
I couldn't decide who knew and who didn't. The police were always round my house, so I used to think everyone knew. And we tried to keep it inside the family, but in the end it went on for so long that everyone knew, and even in my school. But I don't care what they think of him. I just get angry and they think bad things about me and my mum, but I don't care what they think of him, because he deserves it all.
I didn't tell anyone at first. Not friends or school. Teachers know now because my behaviour deteriorated and a social worker got involved and informed the school. I told one friend, who then told the whole school, who then stopped speaking to me. Another girl supported me because her mum was in prison too. I dropped out of school for 6 months and then I left early without taking any exams.
All the kids at school get to go out, but I can't, as I get no pocket money at the moment.
It would be helpful if teachers were more aware of kids with their parents in prison, because then they'd know how we feel. They'd know how to talk to us.
I won an award at school for perseverance and special effort. Made me feel good to award because they saw that I was helping out at home.
If I could change the prison to make it better for children, I'd make it so I could take a picture of my dad without being asked loads of questions. And for them to kind of trust us a bit more.
Recently, they've given me a timeout card, which I'm supposed to use once a week. But I'm getting better now. Usually I just storm out of the classroom and get into trouble.
My mum says we're silent victims, serving a hard sentence than him.
Coming home wasn't too good either. Prison does a lot to your brain. It damaged Mum. She's more fearful of the day-to-day things like going to the toilet. It's hard for a family to adjust. My mum still thinks I'm 8.
We got stressed by not knowing the date he was coming out. We thought we did, and then it would change again. And then he just turned up. He was just sitting there one day when I got home from school. He looked different and talked different. It took a while for me to get used to him again, and I felt left out by my mum.
I want my dad. I miss my dad.
Imagine a place where everybody's watching you.
Imagine a world of darkness.
Imagine the person who taught you from right and wrong has been taken away because they've done wrong.
Imagine looking after a family at my age.
Imagine having all your personal belongings taken away from you.
Imagine not being able to tell anybody, not even your closest friends.
Imagine spending the whole
Imagine
night
having all your personal belongings taken away from you.
Imagine looking after a family at my age.
Imagine